Okay, we're in Jeremiah 51, verse 48. It says, "Then the heavens and the earth and all that is in them shall sing joyously over Babylon, for the plunderers shall come to her from the north, says Yahweh." Again, so we know they're coming from the north. So you just have to take out a globe or a map and figure out which countries are from the north in relationship to the writer of that book, Jeremiah, who was in Israel when he wrote that, and in the Middle East, and see which countries are to the north, and they should be great nations and an assembly of nations, and then see which nations have a hatred for the United States or something against the United States, or for some reason to suspect the United States. Okay, so now let's jump to the New Testament to finish this message, and we are in Revelation 17:1. Revelation 17:1, the last book of the Bible, it says, "Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me," this is John speaking, "and talked with me, saying to me, 'Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters.'" Okay, we talked about that before. The harlot, or the prostitute, the whore, is Babylon. And then just to be sure, it says in verse 5, "And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth." So we know that it's a mystery, Babylon, because most people look at the United States and think, hey, what a great nation. I mean, most Americans do. When you go out of the United States, you hear people speak about the U.S. in different terms. Not that they don't have anything necessarily against the people, but they watch the government, which definitely acts like an empire. It goes around. Americans think that the government is going around helping people, but the rest of the world doesn't look at it that way. They just see a country that goes around and makes war, and wherever this country goes, thousands and thousands of people die. And a lot of times it's very suspect why they're there. I mean, we all scoffed and thought it was a joke when they said that the U.S. was going to Iraq for oil. We said, no way, they're going there to get rid of Saddam Hussein. But lo and behold, now a lot of people in the U.S., and I'm talking about major media and politicians, are admitting that it was to go there for oil. I mean, they really, I don't know if they've gotten their hands on it yet. It seems like the country is still in ruins, even though the surge, they say, has helped a little. I know that there are more Iraqis dying every day than Americans. It's just wherever this country goes, it leaves a trail of dead bodies, blood, and it doesn't seem, that they're really benefiting the countries that they go to, all in the name of fighting terrorism. Well, what is terrorism? Where terrorism? It's this boogeyman, this mysterious thing that you can't put your hands on. It's the greatest enemy ever, because you can never defeat terrorism. Terrorism will never go away. They're so brilliant in coming up with this whole terrorism thing, because you can never, I mean, it's better than Vietnam, because Vietnam, I mean, that was a country and they could drag that out for whatever it was, 10 years. But now this is much better, and everyone said, hey, this is not going to be another Vietnam. Iraq better not be another Vietnam. And here it is. It's way better, because it's just terrorism. It's not just Iraq. It's Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, maybe North Korea. It's wherever they want to go, and it's whoever they want to call a terrorist. And the definition of a terrorist in I forget what you call them, but the new presidential writings and they're not laws, but the new definitions that they've come up with in Washington for what a terrorist is, it's everybody. It's anybody who believes in the Bible, and that the Bible is a literal translation. Also, here we have a country that supposedly is based on freedom of speech, freedom of religion and beliefs, as long as you're not hurting somebody physically. But now they say, if you believe in a literal translation or a literal belief in the Bible, if you believe in the second coming of Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ, as a lot of people call him, you're a terrorist. I mean, the definition they've gone crazy. It's inspired by Satan. So anyway, we know that this is talking about Babylon. We just read verse 5. Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. Then drop down to verse 16 in Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And then, now we're going to see who, again, a description of who destroys Babylon. And then the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Again, we see fire. When you read all these chapters on your own, I didn't even go over them. There are many scriptures that talk about the fire that's going to be burning in Babylon and the smoke that's going to rise that people will be able to see from far, far away. So the beast is another word used for this union of nations. I know a lot of people think that the beast is the European Union. I'm not completely convinced. It could be, but I think that it could also be the United Nations. You know, the United Nations, or some of the major nations within the United Nations. You know, it could be Europe. I don't know exactly who it is. Anyone who tells you they know every single detail of prophecy and they know all the answers, they're deceiving themselves. None of us can know. We're not going to know until it all happens. And prophecy really isn't necessarily to predict the future. It's to prepare yourself to have in your mind what the terms are of prophecy so that as they unfold and as they happen historically, you can match them up. And then what does this do? This encourages you, because we're living in a very discouraging world, especially as believers or Christians. We look at this world and it's very discouraging. It's a sad world for many people. It should be sad. You should see all of the horror and all of the terrible things that are going on. And so as we see prophecy unfolding and we can match it up to historic events, this should encourage us, and it should help us to move forward and know that the day that Yeshua is coming back to this earth to stop and eradicate all of this terrible war and the terrible things that man does and has done, we know that that day is coming, and Yeshua is going to set up his kingdom here. He's going to stop all of the terrible thing, and then when his kingdom is set up, it's going to be great. It's going to be the best time ever. Many people will lose their salvation for not doing what he said. How do you know what to do what he said? Read the Bible. I'll say it over and over again. You have to start reading the Bible. Anybody can read it. You just have to get on your knees before you do and ask Yahweh to open your mind, open your eyes, and to help you understand it. If you ask with a sincere and humble heart, he'll open your eyes and he'll open your mind, and he'll let you understand what is written in his word. Because you need to know, and he wants you to know. That's why he created us. We're his sons. He wants us to inherit his kingdom, and he wants us to inherit the universe. Everything will be under our feet. So, you just have to get with it and start reading and learn what it says. Okay, we're coming to the end here now, and it says in verse 18, "And the woman whom you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth." So that woman, the harlot, Babylon, the United States of America, it is the great city. It's a great city, New York City, and also the country is a great country, and it's strong and powerful, and it has done a few things that were really good. For example, from the United States, more missionaries have gone out to other countries and have handed Bibles out to more people, and have put Bibles at the risk of their own life, even like in Russia and China, where it is illegal in some cases to have a Bible. I think still to today you can't even really be open about reading the Bible in China or Russia. So the United States has been used to do these good things, and it has helped a lot of poor people. But it's doing a lot of terrible things now with all the wars, all of the deception, deceiving its people. There's so much out there, so many terrible things going on, and it is going to be punished. And so it's not going to be fixed. You need to get out. Look at the messages that I made about fleeing and getting out. 9 times Yahweh says to get out of her, my people. Come out of her. Come out of Babylon. Come out of the United States. Prepare, get out. Don't wait too long, because the end is coming and the destruction is coming for that country. And it's going to be by the hands of Yahweh.